It's Friday, and that means it's time for the weekly RPG News Rundown. One More Multiverse, a VTT using retro pixel art and a video game-like interface, will be shutting down. The platform was in beta for about 2 years before fully launching last summer. In a letter posted on the site, the company says, simply put, One More Multiverse isn't sustainable to run. It's sad to see an innovative VTT go, but look on the bright side. You've still got the alpha version of D&D Beyond Maps, I guess. 2 new Mörk Borg compatible books have had successful Kickstarters, and they're from DM Dave's publishing. And no, that's not me. I'm a DM named Dave, not the DM Dave. So I guess I'm RPG Rundown Dave. The first book is called MekBord, and you can probably figure out what it's about from the title, but if not, it's mechs, mecha, and Borg. Well, not the Star Trek Borg, the Mörk Borg. The other is called Steel Psalm, so no Borg there, I guess, but it's a companion book to MekBord. Together, these books offer a campaign setting for use with Mörk Borg rules. The books include 22 pre-gen mechs and rules for making custom ones. There are also pilot factions and new classes, along with an introductory scenario and a 10-part campaign. Wait, there's no umlaut on the O in MekBorg, so maybe it is the Star Trek Borg? No, that can't be right. 13th Age is getting a second edition, and it's now live on Kickstarter. 13th Age is a D20 game that promises to combine story with crunch. This new edition brings new monster abilities and updated class and kin powers. 13th Age is a game in which player creation choices actually alter the setting itself, making the heroes an integral part of the world they inhabit. Unlike reality, where I can't even get my friends to call me back. Look, Todd, I'm sorry. I know I used your name as the butt of a joke in the April Fool's video, and I regret it, okay? Now available on DriveThruRPG, RPG Stock Art Illustrations is a package of 100 pieces of fantasy stock art. They were created via digital medium in black and white and have a stylized, slightly cartoonish look. This is art that is reusable without any special license. Controversially, not one AI prompt expert was paid to generate these images, but instead, they were hand-drawn by a disgusting organic organism called an artist. This week's word, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing correctly, is Edinburgh. I know it's not Edinburgh, which is the location of the famous Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Okay, not sure I'm pronouncing that whole thing right either, since it's Scotland. I'll say it again. Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Edinburgh. Anyway, this August on the Fringe stage, there'll be a live actual play session of Call of Cthulhu. The game will be run by the game's creative director, Mike Mason, and among the cast is actor Josephine McAdam. The event is called Live in the Library and sold out in less than 24 hours, so don't make any travel plans unless you are already one of the lucky to get tickets. This marks another in a recent trend of high-profile actual play games being done live in legendary venues. And I can't even get a consistent group together for my fan LARP of Parks and Recreation. Done in actual parks as recreation. See, because you get it. Wait, is it live in the library or live in the library? Larry Elmore, the 75-year-old artist who created the famous red box cover art, has weighed in on the controversy about the new miniature depicting the warrior from that image as female. In a Facebook post, he initially said, "It's a man," and also, "This is stupid. I painted it. I should know." Hours later, Elmore edited that post, adding, "Just to be clear, the thing that I love about D&D was that anyone can be anything in this game. Male, female, both, neither. It does not discriminate." In an even later edit, he added, "You can interpret however you want, for that is the magic of art," jokingly adding, "Now the dragon, on the other hand." And you know, that's very similar to the joke I did last week about this, so I can only assume that Elmore is a huge RPG Rundown fan. And thanks, Larry. I'm glad you're watching. MCDM's Flea Mortals is now available for purchase on D&D Beyond, with their title, Where Evil Lives, also coming to the platform on May 28th. This marks the first time MCDM products have been available on the platform. Flea Mortals is a complete monster book of its own, with innovative mechanics and dynamic monster abilities, while Where Evil Lives is a book full of boss-level dungeon encounters. These books are the latest in a new wave of non-WotC products becoming available on D&D Beyond, which began last year with a campaign setting from Darrington Press. All of this is happening even as both MCDM and Darrington are now playtesting new fantasy RPG games of their own to compete with D&D, and in Darrington's case, presumably to abandon D&D in future Critical Role campaigns. But perhaps the most important thing about this development is the excuse it gives me to put both Matt Colville's and Matt Mercer's images in the thumbnail. Just look at those handsome, nerdy Matts. Wizards of the Coast, via Game Informer, has revealed the cover art for the upcoming 2024 Player's Handbook. First is the standard cover featuring a group of heroes and a gold dragon. The company later revealed the art for the alternate cover, and it turns out the alternate cover books will come out in game stores before the standard cover, possibly as early as September 3rd. The alternate art depicts a party of adventurers and, again, a gold dragon, this time having tea. Okay, well, it looks like 4 of them are having tea while the rogue looks on sulkily. Maybe they didn't offer the rogue any? And who is this kind underground dragon anyway? I bet it's gluten-free and won't shut up about turmeric. Turmeric? These crazy fantasy words, honestly. And speaking of the new D&D books, in an interview with Game Informer, it was revealed that, for the first time in many editions, Greyhawk will now be the default setting, at least in the Dungeonmaster's Guide. The interview also revealed that Aasimar will be one of the core options in the PHB. Greyhawk was initially created by Gary Gygax himself for games he ran for his children and friends, but it grew into a major expansion set in OD&D, and until 2008 was the flagship world for the game. Greyhawk is set on a planet called Oith. Yes, this one I am pronouncing right. It is actually pronounced that way, Oith. Nonetheless, Bugs Bunny has never been a playable character. Free League has announced a new book for their Blade Runner RPG called Replicant Rebellion. A Kickstarter will be launching soon for it. Covering the Replicant Underground in 2037 Los Angeles, Replicant Rebellion invites the players to turn the tables and play as targets of Blade Runners. But are these even meaningful distinctions? Since the 2 main Blade Runners we know about from the movies are replicants themselves? Wait, how do I know I'm not a replicant? Or maybe I'm an AI and I don't know it? It would explain a lot, especially these weird hands I have. Now available from the Critical Role store, the second edition of For the Queen offers a card-based collaborative storytelling game about taking a journey with Her Royal Majesty. Using the cards as prompts, players will together develop a world around the Queen card they choose from the 25 available in the set. The final question answered in a session of the game is, when your queen is attacked, do you defend her? And it turns out Will Smith was actually just LARPing this game at the 2022 Oscars. Geekify will be publishing an official Neopets tabletop RPG coming to Kickstarter. Geekify promises to blend the rich history, lore, and characters of Neopets with the familiar gaming style of tabletop RPGs. No word yet on how involved Scientology will be with the game. Next weekend in London, there will be a one-day Tabletop Creators Summit, a convention for professionals in tabletop gaming, put on by website Dicebreaker. The summit takes place within the MCM Comic-Con, and registration for the summit includes a free day pass for the Comic-Con. You've still got time to sign up, but you must do so by the end of today. Industry players from the likes of Modifius and Cubicle 7 will be speaking and will offer time for professional networking in what Dicebreaker is calling an unconference. See, I always called it the unconference when I got bored and went day drinking in a convention host city, but to each their own. Iz'Areth is a new campaign setting for the Pathfinder game from Fireball in a Teacup Press. It's about a civilization renewed by something called the Luminous Shards, gems that enable powerful mechanical inventions. Publishers call it a blend of ancient mysteries, cutting-edge technology, and divine intrigue. So maybe this is about Scientology too? Iconic D&D villain Vecna, already brought into the public's eye by both Stranger Things and Critical Role, will be joining the list of available killers in horror-themed multiplayer video game Dead by Daylight. In this game, one player plays the killer, while the rest of the killers try to escape. Each playable killer has its own unique set of abilities and advantages. In the game, Vecna will be voiced by none other than Matt Mercer, who, in weekly news, we just can't ever seem to get away from. Look, there's that face again. That's the weekly news. I'm Dave, and thanks for watching.